Yes, you can still use floppy disks with Windows 11. This is how. If you need to, it's entirely possible to read and write to floppy disks with modern PC or laptop. Invented back in 1971, the floppy disk is remembered as one of the most iconic and reliable disk storage solutions. Specifically, it was the 3.5-inch floppy that became a literal icon we still use today on patterns meant of saving data, even as Gen Zers scratch their heads over it. Today, the 3.5-inch floppy disk is out of production, but you might have a few in your possession. Can you still use them on modern PCs? Surprisingly, yes. Windows 11 can handle them without too much pain. Here's what you need to know. Why use a floppy disk? The 3.5-inch floppy disk dominated the disk storage medium for more than a decade, and hundreds of millions of disks were produced. Many of them are still sitting in attics and closets, forgotten to time. And if you ever stumble upon such a cache, it's a fun to take a trip down memory lane. Old floppy disks are also useful for retro PC enthusiasts. It's possible to upgrade most retro PCs to bypass the need for floppies. But until you make that upgrade, a 3.5-inch floppy remains the best option for transferring data with an ancient machine. Floppies may also be the only way to enjoy retro PC games from back in the day. Buying a 3.5-inch floppy drive today. Windows 11 computers don't come with a floppy drives. So if you want to use floppy disk on a modern PC, you will need to buy a floppy drive. Fortunately, you can shop online right now and buy a USB compatible 3.5-inch floppy drive for relatively cheap. It's portable USB drive. You can use floppy with a USB cable. If you want my recommendation, here is the floppy drive I use, which only costs $19 as of this writing in 2025. Most USB compatible 3.5-inch floppy drives are similar, but a few things stand out about this one. First, it has a drive activity LED. Second, it has reasonably sized cushioned feet. Third, it has a 2-foot USB cord, others tend to be shorter. Fourth, it has a USB-A to USB-C adapter instead of the storage and annoying USB-A USB-C combo cord that some floppy drives now have. There aren't exactly headline features, but when you are choosing between couple dozen drives that are similarly priced and appear to be identical, it's the little details that matter. Here is an important note. While Windows 11 does support this particular USB compatible 3.5-inch floppy drive, it's only true for x86 and x64 systems. Windows from ARM doesn't have a floppy driver, and modern versions of Mac OS also lack a floppy driver. Unfortunately, if you have either a kind of system, then a floppy drive isn't an option for you. Setting up the 3.5-inch floppy drive. The 3.5-inch floppy drive you receive will be a plug and play device, so it should just work. But a few common problems might trip up. These days, all new USB compatible 3.5-inch floppy drives rely on USB for power. The label on mine, for example, asks for 5 volt at 500 milliamps, milliamperes. Any USB port should do it, since the minimum specifications requires it. But if you are using a dodgy USB hub or have a bad port on an older computer, the drive may not work due to the lack of power. Once plugged in, you will need to search a bit to find into the drive. It won't pop up like a typical USB flash drive would. The drive probably won't appear in the list of drives in File Explorer. To find it, open File Explorer and navigate this PC. Make sure to fully open this PC in the main view of File Explorer by clicking on this PC icon in the sidebar. Still not seeing the floppy drive A? Open Settings app, then navigate to Bluetooth and Devices in the side panel. Scroll down and click on Devices, then scroll down again to More Devices and Printers settings. This will open the old school devices and printers view where hopefully you will see the floppy drive listed under other devices. Once it's all set up and working, the USB floppy drive will basically perform like a slow USB flash drive. You can drag and drop files into and out of the drive, assuming you have a floppy disk in it. And if you need to create a disk image, which is required for some software installs, you can use a disk imaging tool like Wilnimage. Wilnimage. Buying 3.5 floppy disks today. Suppose you want to transfer data from your current PC to an older PC that only has a floppy drive. Not only do you need the USB compatible 3.5 floppy drive for your current PC, but you'll also need to buy some blank floppies to make that transfer happen. Your first and best option is to check out any local vintage electronics stores and or recyclers in the area. These stores typically have used 3.5 floppy disks for sale, and if you can expect to pay around 0.25 per disk, not more than zero point 0.5 each, else you are being ripped off. If your local store won't give you a fair deal, or if you don't have any such local store in your area, you can check floppydisk.com. They sell 50 packs of recycled 3.5-inch floppy disks for $20 each, or 10 packs of brand new 3.5 floppy disks for 13 each. Alternatively, you can get a 10 pack of new discs on Amazon for $19. If you're buying, I recommend getting at least several dozen discs because you're going to need more than you think. Most programs will span at least a few disks, and some large programs can require more than a dozen of their own. You will also need replacements for disks in that fail. The last floppy disk was produced in 2011, so most in circulation are over 20 years ago. Expect high failure rates. Any of these options are more reliable than floppy drives. So if you have an older PC and don't want to be stuck with floppy disks forever, then make the upgrade sooner than later. That said, I won't fault you if you put it off. It's always fun to hear the floppy drive wear away.